Throw a monkey wrench in here. Mr. Loiselle, would you like to give us your town manager's report?
I would be delighted to, Mr. Chair. A bit of an off-season update, but I wanted to share an update on our efforts to gain control of the behavior on Lake Mascuppic. Our neighbors, Drakehead, had their fall town meeting this past week and approved an amendment to their bylaws that mirrors an amendment we made last summer, which prohibits people from parking watercraft, including jet skis, along public shorelines. This will help ensure that public safety folks can evacuate an injured patient from the water and that people who are coming in from out of town can't make a whole day out of being here. As a reminder, we've encountered folks who literally have their jet skis dropped off in the morning. The person that dropped them off leaves, and so throughout the day, they're just parking them in various public spaces. This will allow both the environmental police and the Tyngsborough police, as well as in the instances that Drakehead has officers out there, the ability to enforce the bylaw across both towns. This comes just a week after we were notified that an earmark for $25,000 was awarded to Tyngsborough, which will fund overtime patrols on the lake through our police marine unit. I've talked to Chief Woods about using some of that funding to put somebody at the boat ramp in Drakehead so that once the 7 boat spots are taken, we'd be turning people away, which is something that we've been trying to get the state to allow Drakehead to fund. But since they weren't willing to, I think this earmark will go a long way to help us do that. So it's quiet now. It'll be quiet until May when the weather warms up, but hopefully this is a big help. Wreaths Across America is back this year thanks to Pam Russell, the Tyngsborough Firefighters Association, and the American Legion. It will take place at 11 a.m. on Saturday, December 13th at the Veterans Memorial in the Town Center, followed by a wreath laying at the graves of veterans in the various Tyngsborough cemeteries. We have a post on TyngsboroughMA right now that will link you to the Wreaths Across America page if you want to sign up to lay a wreath or if you want to sponsor a wreath. This is Tyngsborough's 3rd year participating, and each time Pam Russell took the lead on organizing it. It starts with a ceremony in the town center, and then everyone kind of goes their own way to lay down those wreaths. So a big thank you to everyone involved in that. On a staffing front, we began interviews last week to fill the vacant DPW Highway Division skilled laborer role, as well as the administrative assistant to the health department. I expect that the first round interviews will be completed this week, and we will complete the final round interviews after the Thanksgiving holiday. I'm also happy to share that we recently had 2 recruits complete the Massachusetts Firefighting Academy. Recruits Colin Shanahan and James Shablack graduated on November 6th as a part of the Call Volunteer Recruit Class number 121. These 2 recruits will now train alongside current Tyngsborough firefighters and will be able to complement our call/per diem crew. I'm happy to report that the Sewer Division of the Department of Public Works was awarded a $148,000 grant from the Massachusetts Clean Water Trust for their wastewater asset management program. This brings the town's fiscal year 26 grant total to just over $1 million since July 1st. On a project update, I bet none of you thought I'd be able to say this today, but I'm happy to share that the former Council on Aging at 180 Lakeview Ave was demolished last week. The demolition, for those that don't remember, was approved in a funding vote by town meeting in 2024. This spring, the DPW will repave where the building was previously situated to expand parking for the softball fields. I've also talked with Mike Knight from Youth Softball and our rec department about having a new shed installed on the site. That building's real only purpose for the last 10 plus years was storing the softball equipment, so getting them a small shed that they can use would be beneficial. The 2025 roads project phase 2 is wrapped up for the winter. Over the last several weeks, Sunshine Paving installed new drainage infrastructure along Elm and Bridget. The trenches will be temporarily patched for the winter, and Sunshine will return this spring to do the full depth reclamation and final paving. You probably have seen at the site of the old Council on Aging big mounds of sand and fill. That's all being cleaned, and then actually Sunshine is giving some of that fill to the DPW for the various projects that we're doing. So it's not related to the demo, it's staging for that roads phase 2, but it'll be gone long before the first snow. I mean, I guess hopefully in this environment. I'm very happy to share that we've identified a path forward for the new garage bays at the DPW. You may remember that $450,000 in ARPA funds were earmarked for a new DPW garage building through capital in fiscal year 23. Since then, $70,000 was reallocated by the select board for the demo of 180 Lakeview Ave, but we've also obtained $195,000 in external sources, including earmarks, to add to the budget. We had originally planned to include the sewer division in this project, but given the change of scope, it appears they're looking to hold off for a more suitable building, something that they're looking to construct. This will not involve office spaces, so there's been variations of this project since the beginning. It was going to be a prefab building We were going to build out the shell and then hope for more money to construct it. This is one of the projects that I put a pause on when I came back in September of 2023. We recently used a state earmark to renovate the office space, the locker room, the bathrooms, and the kitchen of the DPW. So when I talked to our superintendent and our highway foreman about our immediate needs, it's really getting our equipment that's currently parked outside into an enclosed environment. So this certainly isn't the perfect solution, but this will allow us to get all of our equipment into a temperature-controlled, fully covered area. Right now, all of our dump trucks are, Adele has seen them, I'm sure many of you have, they're all kind of sandwiched in. We've got to take the plows off, and all of our one-ton trucks are parked outside, which isn't great. So this is going to be a huge victory for us. An added benefit is that the vendor we're looking to work with has a competitively bid state contract, so we won't have to go through a whole invitation for bid process. And should we be able to, down the road, fund new office space over there, the way that these things are created or constructed, you can move them and adjust to add more stuff to it. So we're happy with that. We have to spend the ARPA funding, which is the bulk of that money, by next December. So we're going to get to work on this right away. And then just a couple of reminders about upcoming events. Bingo continues at the Center for Active Living on Wednesday, November 19th. Doors open at 5:30 and the game starts promptly at 6:30. Just a reminder that on this Wednesday, Town Hall and the library will open late to accommodate our annual all-staff training. Town Hall will open at 11, while the library will open at 11:30. 11 a.m. for town offices, 11:30 for the library. There is no schedule change for the Center for Active Living. Also on the 19th, I've mentioned it before, we're hosting the Middlesex 3 Coalition at Player One over at the new Edge District. The event is completely sold out. There's a waiting list. We were expecting 70 people. There's 111, including the waiting list. So it's going to be a wonderful event, really an opportunity for us to showcase what Sam Park is doing over there at the Edge. We've also asked Marcus Partners, which is doing this warehouse project, to speak. And we'll talk a little bit about ways that we've been working with businesses. We'll talk about this in the select board's updates, but this really ties in with our efforts to prioritize certain parcels for economic development. When I look at the roster of people that are attending, you typically see in some of the other communities just a lot of housing people, but we're looking at a lot of industry people, lab space, things like that. So our town planner, Ben, has his work cut out for him, but it should be a really awesome event. Town offices, the Tyngsborough Public Library, and the Center for Active Living will close at 4 p.m. next Wednesday. That's November 26th, the day before Thanksgiving. And of course, the Festival of Trees kicks off on Friday, November 28th, 2025, and it runs through December 7th. We have a beautiful banner on the home screen of TyngsboroughMA.gov that will bring you to the full schedule. There's far too many things for me to list in my report. And that's all that I've got tonight, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.